Shane Dawson has been back in the spotlight, and as usual, it's a whirlwind of emotions and reflections. Recently, he sat down for an interview with his old friend Katie Morton, and the conversation quickly turned to Shane's past, his career, and the numerous controversies that have followed him over the years. For someone who's always been in the public eye, talking about his past is something Shane finds difficult, but he opened up about it, revealing regrets, friendships lost, and some surprisingly raw admissions. Shane's journey through the ups and downs of his internet career has been well documented, but in this particular podcast, he gets even more personal. Among the many topics discussed, one of the most talked about moments came when Shane mentioned a particular person from his past, a person who caused him a lot of emotional turmoil. While Shane didn't name names, the way he described the situation had people speculating about who it could be. Some online thought he was talking about his former friend Trisha and possibly his old friend group, including Garrett and Andrew. While Shane didn't explicitly point fingers, the assumption started to form, and people on TikTok were quick to clip this moment, trying to connect the dots. In the podcast, Shane explained how he had tried to approach this person about their behavior, saying he wanted to be direct and honest to avoid letting the issues fester. "I just wanted to be upfront, like, hey, I don't know if you meant to do this, but this hurt my feelings," Shane recalled. However, the response from this person was far from what Shane expected. Instead of an apology or understanding, he was met with an angry reaction, which, as he explained, confirmed his worst fears. "And that tells you everything," Shane added. "I was like, okay, this isn't the greatest energy. You've got some stuff to work on." Shane then explained that moments like these are clear indicators to trust your instincts, especially when you start feeling uneasy about someone. He described it as a pit-in-your-stomach feeling whenever someone reached out, which made him realize that the relationship was not healthy. He made it clear that sometimes, walking away is the healthiest option. Trisha Paytas reacts. When Trisha Paytas caught wind of this interview, she took to her own platform to react to Shane's comments. In her take, Trisha wasn't completely shocked by what Shane had said, but she did take issue with how he portrayed the situation. "It definitely was about me," she said, referencing Shane's vague recounting. She added that while Shane denied talking about influencers, it seemed pretty clear he was hinting at the people he used to surround himself with. Trisha then went on to express her frustration with Shane's lack of accountability. "If you're going to talk about your past relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships, you have to admit that there was wrongdoing on both sides. You can't act like you were the innocent one in all of it." Trisha felt that Shane's reflection lacked this level of self-awareness, especially when it came to how things fell apart between them. You can't say you regret something but not take accountability for the harm you've caused. That's where the problem lies, she pointed out. Shane also revealed one of his biggest regrets, making fun of Miley Cyrus during her public struggles. He admitted that, looking back, he felt guilty for how he treated celebrities like Miley and Lady Gaga, making them the butt of his jokes. "I loved these people, but I turned them into characters and, in the process, said horrible things about them," he confessed. This admission raised some eyebrows, especially considering that Shane's career and persona were built on this kind of humor. Miley Cyrus regret. For Shane, making fun of celebrities like Miley was more than just comedy. It was a deeper internal conflict he had about his own identity. He reflected on how his actions in the past were driven by his own insecurities and need for attention. "It was like a bad version of Mad TV. I was trying to be like them, but in the process, I hurt them. I used to say horrible things, and now I get why it was wrong," he admitted. His shift in perspective, however, seemed more focused on how he perceived karma hitting him after his own cancellation. He went as far as saying that the cancellation was karma for many of his past actions. This part of the podcast had people wondering, what exactly was Shane regretting, and was this just a part of his attempt at redemption? His apology didn't seem to target the most significant controversies that led to his cancellation. People pointed out that Shane was still minimizing some of the truly offensive content, like the racist videos, the Dramageddon situation, and the inappropriate comments that were made about children, which were much more serious than making fun of celebrities. Shane's perspective on his drama. When discussing the drama with Jeffree Star, Shane brushed it off as part of his past but acknowledged that it was a series of events that led to his downfall. It wasn't just about making offensive jokes. It was about people questioning my character, what kind of friend I was, what kind of person I was. And that's what hurt the most, Shane explained. He recognized that his past behavior had led people to question his authenticity, something that couldn't be fixed with a simple apology. Trisha also weighed in, pointing out how Shane's past behavior is still influencing his reputation. Shane can't just go around pointing fingers at everyone else without owning up to his part in all this. He can't ignore how much he contributed to the chaos, Trisha stated. She mentioned that while Shane might have grown and changed, his past actions have left lasting impacts, especially on the people closest to him. The Jake Paul series. One of the most jaw-dropping moments came when Shane discussed his infamous Jake Paul series, where he painted Jake as a sociopath. He admitted that the entire series was planned out in advance, and he even reached out to Jake, telling him about the concept beforehand. "I was deep into this idea of exposing sociopaths, and I thought Jake Paul was one of them," Shane explained. He claimed that Jake was cool with the idea, saying, "Sure, whatever. I don't even know what that means." This revelation further complicated Shane's redemption narrative. While he tried to frame the series as an attempt to educate people about toxic behavior, it came off as a way to vilify Jake for content. "I was trying to help people understand that some people don't have empathy, but in doing so, I made someone else the villain," Shane admitted. Trisha's take. Trisha, unsurprisingly, had a lot to say about the Jake Paul series. She commented on how Shane and his team had manipulated the narrative for views and how it was all part of the calculated nature of YouTube videos at the time. "I think everyone knew these videos were staged and that they weren't real. But we all bought into it," she said, referencing how fans were sold this version of Shane that wasn't as genuine as he appeared. In the end, Trisha said that while she still has a soft spot for Shane, she doesn't think he's fully taking responsibility for his actions. "He's a traumatized person, and I don't think he's a bad person, but there's a lot of accountability he's missing," she concluded. Conclusion. Shane Dawson's journey of self-reflection continues to be a complicated one. While he admits to some regrets, like making fun of celebrities and being insensitive in his videos, he's still not fully owning up to the more serious actions that led to his cancellation. Trisha's reaction to his interview shows how complicated their relationship is, and it's clear that Shane's past continues to haunt him. But does he want to change? That's still up for debate. What do you think about Shane's reflections on his past? Do you think he's truly learned from his mistakes, or is he still dodging accountability? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.